Congratulations. You've taken the red pill. You've finally realized that the 9 to 5 is a slow-motion, soul-crushing machine, that your social media feed is a dopamine-fueled cage, and that the truth you were fed since birth was just a poorly written script. But let me ask you something that's been eating at you in the middle of the night. Why does the truth feel so heavy? Why is your awakening making you more miserable than when you were asleep? You thought seeing through the matrix would make you free, but instead, it just turned the world into a wasteland of nihilism. You're not a hero, you're just a doomer with a better vocabulary. The red pill wasn't the exit, it was a trap, designed to trade your ignorance for resentment. You've escaped the cage, only to realize you're still standing in the zoo. But what if I told you there was a third pill? One that wasn't coded in the binary of us vs. them or real vs. fake. Over 2,000 years ago, a man who had everything: wealth, sex, power, walked out of his palace to find the ultimate hack. He didn't just find a way to escape the system, he found the source code itself. He called it the middle way. It's not about fighting the matrix, and it's not about ignoring it. It's about something far more terrifying to the system, seeing it for what it is and refusing to let it define your peace. Today, we're going to perform a karmic debugging on your life, because the hardest truth isn't that the world is a lie, it's that the you trying to escape it is the biggest lie of all. Let's dive into the rabbit hole, but this time, we're bringing a light. I've been where you are, sitting at 3:00 a.m., deep in a Reddit thread about how the global financial system is a Ponzi scheme, or how AI is about to render our souls obsolete. You feel awake, right? You feel like you've finally seen the code behind the curtain. But here's the brutal honesty: that realization didn't bring you peace. It brought you a special kind of hell. I remember staring at a pile of dirty dishes in my sink, thinking, what's the point? The world is ending, the environment is collapsing, and I'm just a bio-unit processing calories in a dying empire. I was red-pilled, but I was paralyzed. I had the map of the prison, but my legs were still chained to the floor. This is the doomer loop, where knowing the truth becomes your new addiction, and cynicism becomes your personality. We live in a culture that rewards this. Your TikTok feed is a finely tuned algorithm designed to keep you in a state of productive anxiety. It gives you just enough truth to make you feel superior to the sheeple, but not enough tools to actually change your internal state. I spent years trying to hack my way out: productivity apps, cold plunges, digital detoxes, only to realize I was just trying to decorate my cell. I was treating my mind like a broken laptop, trying to install new software on a fried motherboard. I realized that the more I fought the matrix, the more power I gave it over my emotions. I was a rebel, sure, but I was a rebel who couldn't even wash a dish without feeling a sense of existential dread. I had found the truth, but I had lost my life. And that's when I stumbled upon a story, not of a god, but of a prince who was the ultimate early adopter of existential crisis. Here is the part they don't tell you in those self-help seminars. Your ego loves the idea of being awake. It loves feeling superior to the people still scrolling for dopamine. But that superiority is just another layer of the matrix. I spent years in that trap, I thought if I meditated long enough, read enough sutras, or optimized my Zen routine, I'd reach some finish line. But the harder I pushed, the more the system pushed back. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Every time I said, I want to be free, the I was the problem. I was the one holding the bars of the cage while complaining about the lack of air. We've turned spirituality into another hustle, another metric to track, another way to feel like we're winning a game that's rigged from the start. Think about Siddhartha. Before he was the Buddha, he was a man who tried every red pill available in ancient India. He tried extreme luxury, it failed. He tried extreme starvation. He almost died. He realized that the anti-matrix rebels of his time were just as trapped as the kings in their palaces. They were all obsessed with the self. He saw that the red pill and the blue pill are just two different skins of the same NPC character. To find the middle way, he had to do the one thing no one in the Matrix ever does. He stopped running. He stopped trying to fix the simulation and started looking at the person trying to fix it. He realized that the rabbit hole doesn't go down, it goes in. And at the center of that hole, he found a glitch that changed everything. A glitch that suggests you aren't the player, you're not even the character. You're the screen. This is where it gets dangerous. Because once you know the red pill is a trap, the Matrix updates its code. It doesn't give you another lie. It gives you your own ego dressed as truth. You think you're fighting the system, but you're just fighting your own algorithm. You're angry at the world's greed. That's just the Matrix, reflecting your own unexamined desires. You're enraged by the blue-pilled sheeple. That's just the simulation amplifying your own need to feel superior. We've turned consciousness into a combat sport. Every time you doom scroll, with a sense of righteous fury, you're just feeding the machine the very data it needs to keep you enslaved. You aren't a freedom fighter. You're just a battery that powers the simulation with your own anger. This is the ultimate recursion. The war for freedom is being fought with the same weapons that created the cage. Do you remember the night Siddhartha was about to wake up? He was sitting under that Bodhi tree, and Mara, the Lord of Illusion, attacked him. But Mara didn't send soldiers with swords. He sent his daughter's images of ultimate pleasure and his demon's images of ultimate terror. Mara was the original designer of the attention economy. He knew that the mind is addicted to two things, craving and aversion. He knew that if he could get Siddhartha to react either to want the pleasure or to fear the terror, he could keep him trapped in the simulation. Today, Mara has moved his headquarters from a mythological realm to Silicon Valley. The algorithms don't just know what you like. They know what you hate. They don't just offer you truth. They offer you a personalized resistance packaged with 15-second ads. Every notification is an attack from Mara's army, designed to break your presence and make you a pawn in a game you don't even know you're playing. The war isn't happening out there. It's happening right now, in the 0.5 seconds between a sensation and your reaction. You think you're winning because you've started noticing the trap. You've upgraded your software. You're doing the breathwork. You're eating the clean data. You're listening to the right podcasts. But look closer. Isn't your spirituality just another high-performance engine you're trying to build? You've just traded a corporate master for a spiritual one, but the stress is exactly the same. You're still trying to achieve enlightenment like it's a quarterly KPI. This is the ultimate glitch in the human operating system. We try to use the ego to kill the ego. It's like trying to jump off your own shadows. The more energy you put into escaping, the more you reinforce the idea that the Ikirais who needs to escape. You're spinning your wheels in a digital mud, and the algorithm is laughing because your struggle is its primary power source. There is an ancient story about the Monkey King, the ultimate rebel with infinite power. He could fly across the universe in a single leap. He thought he had reached the very edge of reality, the end of the matrix. He found 5 great pillars at the edge of the world and wrote his name on them to prove his freedom. But when he came back, he realized the terrifying truth. Those 5 pillars were just the fingers of the Buddha's hand. He had never left the palm. This isn't just a myth. It's a map of your mind. Your thoughts, your rebellions, your red pill realizations, they are all just graffiti on the fingers of a vast, silent awareness you haven't noticed yet. You're fighting a war against a shadow, and you're losing because you think the shadow is real. The red pill told you the world was a simulation. What it forgot to tell you is that you fighting the simulation is also part of the code. You aren't the hacker. You are the script being run. And until you see the hand beneath the pillars, you will always be a prisoner of your own escape. Here is the secret. The Matrix spent billions of dollars to keep you from realizing. The reason you can't escape the prison of your mind is that there is no you inside it to begin with. Read that again. Every fear, every red pill revelation, every moment of General Z burnout isn't happening to you. It's just happening. Like a weather pattern. Like a line of code executing on a server. You've spent your whole life trying to be the CEO of your thoughts, but the seat was always empty. The doomer identity, the rebel, the seeker, they are all just temporary files in a cache that needs to be cleared. The Buddha's ultimate hack wasn't a magic spell. It was the realization that when you stop identifying with the software, the hardware finally finds peace. You are not the character on the screen struggling to survive. You are the stillness of the screen itself, untouched by the explosions, the drama, or the search for truth. So, how do we apply this before you scroll to the next video? We start the karmic debugging right now. Next time a wave of existential dread hits you, or the algorithm triggers your anger, don't fight it. Don't take a pill. Just notice it. Treat that thought like a pop-up ad on a legacy website. You don't have to click close. You don't have to buy what it's selling. You just sit there and watch the pixels flicker. This is the middle way, the radical act of being present without being a participant. When you realize you aren't the one thinking, the thoughts lose their power to hurt you. The cage doesn't disappear. You just realize the bars are made of mist. You can walk through them whenever you want. This is the only way to win the game. Stop playing the me version and start being the awareness version. The rabbit hole ends here because you finally realized you were never in it. You were the one holding the flashlight all along.